I'm going out. What am I going to do? And then I just happened to repair our Colonel's phone one day, and he said, well, don't you upgrade in the trade? I said, well, I haven't got time, so I'm going out in 3 months. If he'd have said, well, why don't you sign on, I probably would have done.
Well, a lot of people thought national service, if they didn't go out the country and they were just messed around in this country doing bits and pieces, lots of exercises and what have you, it wasn't much of a 2 years, I don't think. But for those that did get abroad, it was good experience, a good experience of life. You see how other people live, which is one of the main things. I think that's what broadens your mind more.
Yeah, we were then asked that if we signed on into the regular army, we would all get promoted. In those days I'd already become a lance corporal, and I was promised a rank of corporal if I signed on, with the possibility of becoming a sergeant later on. We all had the chance of doing that. 2 of my friends did decide to carry on and sign on. I decided I wanted to come back home.
I think it was rather awkward. I was quite content in the army, but I was expected out to go home. Let's put it that way. I could have signed on quite easily. Probably gone back to Catterick on the course, and then probably gone to an exotic place like Hong Kong.
You'd get a statement of pressure, if you like, to you've got used to it. Have you enjoyed the army? Would you like to continue? The things that they could do for you in the way of training to do whatever you liked, really. The promises, which were well founded. I know people who took a shock service commission and qualified in surgery, for example, you know.
My personal feelings were sad that I was leaving the army. You'd made such good friends. Even though I said I was isolated to some degree, we'd still got our friends out there, and that we met up on the Defi, the NAFI and places like that, and that you suddenly realised you were not going to see each other again.
It was going back to a different life altogether. Because when I knew how much I was earning, I thought, crumbs, I should have gone back in the army. You know, I was earning more in the army than I was in civilian life, and yet I got paid everything out of that. So I was tempted whether to sign back on.
You were losing a family. At the beginning, you didn't know anybody at all. No, nobody did. And you became one. You became a unit. You became a family, and it was sad. But it had to happen. It had to finish. And then when you got back home, you suddenly realised that you were on your own again, and you were going to have to start again. And it was strange. It was very, very strange. A lot of people have said that it's hard when you come out of the army to get back into your old job. I found that. Suddenly you've got to make decisions for yourself, where for 2 years they're all being made virtually for you. After a few weeks back in engineering, I didn't really want it at all. You know, it seemed alien.
Well, I had thought about staying on, but I thought I'd go home first and have a look round, see what had changed, if anything had changed. Well, you start off at the beginning again, really. You start off at the bottom of the pile, same as you do in the army, obviously. And you've got to work at it to get yourself up amongst the better paid ones, if you can. I think, I don't know, you mature, you grow older, and you don't take things for granted like when you're a lad. You know, you don't expect people to wait on you. You've got to do things for yourself. But I've been doing that for 3 years, and it was quite easy. They took me back on at Longford for my job. They were glad to see me, and I stayed there the rest of my life, 43 years.
I think it did me good, because it brought out let's say the feeling and the fact that I could do things. You know, but I've been in the factory, I was learning things, fine, I wanted to learn, but this was a different type of life, and the more interest you took into this type of life, then the more you learn from it.